Hi, welcome back to Foam Rolling and Mobility with me, Harry. We're going to start today doing some split squats because we like strong bodies that can move well. So we don't want to just stretch everything all the time. We also want a bit of strength in there as well. So I really like split squats. They're a nice sort of functional, easy to start, easy place to start for most of us. On your toes at the back, lunging forwards with one leg, knees slightly bent to begin with, and we're just dropping down and back up. And we want to really think about squeezing our glutes to get us up. And we're just going to do 10 of these. Brilliant. And switch. If you need to support yourself, if you're new to doing these sort of things, grab a chair, grab a table in front of yourself so it's not your full body weight. Great, switch. You'll hear a lot of people talk about, if you go and see a physio or osteopath, about where your knee wants to be when you're doing these sort of exercises. And yes, I'm totally going to forget how many we're up to, so count to 10 and then switch. It's fine if your knee drops in a little bit. We don't want a big drop in because that puts a bit too much pressure on the medial side of the knee. But a little bit of a drop in is totally fine and totally normal. Because what you want to do is as your knee, switch when you're ready, drops in a little bit, it allows the glute to stretch, which means we can then stretch it to load it and then squeeze it back up. So don't think your knee has to go straight forwards. It's okay if it drops in a little bit. Brilliant. I'm assuming you all did 2 sets of 10 because I totally lost count. Right, let's loosen that off. We're going to focus on our rec fem. So rec fem is that muscle that sits on top of our quads, goes all the way up our thigh. I'm going to start. Now we've been doing this for a while. Knee, foam roller just above the knee, using the central prongs. I'm going to take my back foot off the ground. This means there's more weight going through the muscle. If that's too much, then just drop that foot back down to take a bit of pressure off. Oh, but I'm going to dig in deep today. Oh. Oh, brilliant. And switch. Because I'm just working that one rec fem muscle at the front, I'm keeping my legs straight today. I'm not turning my foot in or out. But I am taking this foot off the ground just to get all my body weight over on the foam roller. If that's too much, drop the knee or drop the toes. But if you can, get in to that muscle. If you want to cross your other leg over the ankle, or feel free. That is an absolute killer. Kind of in a good way. Oh, brilliant. Come back up. As usual, foam rolling, 30 to 90 seconds is usually enough per body part. You can obviously mix and match, but felt like enough to me today. So let's do some hip lunges. So we've done these ones before, on your toes at the back, tucking the pelvis under. This time what we're going to do, add in a little bit of rotation with our top half. So as I'm pushing that hip forwards, I'm changing the plane a little bit of motion by using my front arm to come across. Whoop. Great, and switch. So, clenching your glute, pushing that hip forwards, and then driving across. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to doing a nice little gentle stretch for our hips. So we've done this one before. Let's pull our foam rollers right underneath our pelvis, sort of at the back of our hip joint, so you can feel for your knobbly hip bones. And you want the foam roller more or less behind them, underneath the pelvis. Let's straighten one leg, squeeze your knee towards the chest. The more you squeeze, the higher this leg comes. And so what you want to do is then push that heel down to get a stretch through here. Hold that for me, focus on your breathing. Great, and switch. So some of you will find this really easy if you're a gymnast or if you're a ballet dancer or a yogi pro, then you probably won't feel too much of a stretch. That's absolutely fine. It's still a nice one. Just open up those hips a little bit. But if you cycle a lot or if you're at your computer for sort of 10 hours a day, then you might go a little bit more of a stretch through those hips. And switch. Don't be surprised if one hip feels slightly tighter than the other. That's very normal. Come back in, really squeeze towards your chest. Push that heel down. And again. And last one. Excellent. Come and sit up. So we're going to do a combination of movements again. So stretch the adductors, foam roller in front. And we're going to do an adductor stretch with thread the needle. So getting a stretch through here, arms coming underneath to accentuate that stretch. Roll, roll, roll. Come up and lift. Underneath, roll, 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 come up and open. And once again, if you're getting a little bit sore in here, the inside of your knee, just open that foot a little bit to take the pressure off. And open. And open. Come to the side. Foot pointing forwards if you can, rolling underneath, getting a stretch through the groin, getting some movement through your mid-back and the shoulder, then come up and out. Make sure that foam roller doesn't go walkabouts. And as I come up, I'm opening and I'm pushing this hip forwards as we're coming up. foam roller underneath. And come up. One more time on this side, underneath. And up. Let's switch. One more. Good. Last time on the other side. Rolling underneath. And coming up and out. Last one. Oh, brilliant. Let's bring this back. Let's open up our mid-back foam roller around our lower rib cage, spine in the middle, and let's gently roll through here. If you had a long day at the office already, this is probably very much needed. And nice and slowly. Oh, great. Recenter. Let's come and do the low back. As always, make sure you keep your chest high. Don't go too horizontal because there's just too much extension in your low back. Oh, feels good. If you want to make it a little bit harder, tilt to one side. Oh, yeah. And then tilt to the other. If you need to support yourself with your hands, totally fine. It's just another 30 seconds or so of that. Oh. Great. You're going to come back into a child's pose. And we're going to roll out, straight in front, stretch everything out. A few deep breaths in to open up our lower back. And in this position, we're going to start here, then we're going to roll forwards and come into a little bit of a cobra to get some extension through our low back. Palms, forearms on the foam roller, and then roll back, stretching, and roll forwards into the gentle cobra, and back. One more time into extension. If you've got a very acute back pain, then sometimes extension can be a bit uncomfortable, but it's also quite useful if you're recovering from like a disc bulge or anything. Helps suck things back in, as it were. Good. Come back. Let's get our calves a little bit more supple. So start gently. Each calf calf, lower calf in the outer grooves to begin with. Let's just do the bottom half. So this is your soleus mainly. Great, let's come up. Start a little bit higher this time and do the top half, which is that big gastroc. Still just using the outer groove, so it's not too much. If you're getting a bit tired supporting your weight, or if your wrist is starting to go sore, either go onto your knuckles to keep your wrist in neutral, or just use your weight of your leg and keep the pelvis on the floor. But it's more effective usually if you can just lift up for 30 seconds or so. Let's take it a little bit further, one at a time on those central prongs. Let's get into that lower inside muscle fibres. Let's go straight. And let's go out. Same on the other side. Great. Let's do the last one on our calves, nice and gentle. Let's do so I want it right in the middle, so sort of in between your soleus and your gastroc. There's often a little tender spot in there. So we're going to put the outer groove sort of halfway up on our calves, and we're going to sink down. If you want to go really hard and mean, add in a little side shuffle. If you want to take the pressure off, just lean forwards a little bit. If you want to increase it, lean back. Great. And let's come back, finish off with our favourite. At the base of the skull, drop that chin down. Great. That actually felt quite hard considering that was a slightly shorter session, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you can feel a little bit of difference and have a wonderful rest of your day.